Let's read Tinkerbell. Not so long ago, a baby laughed her first laugh. That laugh flew out of the window and attached itself to a dandelion wisp. The wisp floated all the way from the human world to Pixie Hollow, home of the Never Fairies. Once there, the laugh turned into a brand new fairy. All Never Fairies have a special talent. It was time for the new fairy to discover hers. A hammer started to glow, then it flew right into her hands. Come forward, Tinker Fairies, Queen Clarion called, and welcome the newest fairy of your talent guild, Tinkerbell. Two other Tinker Fairies, Clank and Bobble, showed Tinkerbell her new home in Tinker's Nook. You've arrived at a most wondrous time, the changing of the seasons, they exclaimed. Tink couldn't wait to get started. She put on a leaf dress, tied her hair up in a ponytail, and went to the Tinker's workshop. There she met Fairy Mary, the head of the Tinkers. Then it was off to make deliveries to the Nature Fairies. Clank, Bobble, and Tink brought pussy willow bushes for Rosetta, milkweed pod satchels for Fawn, and rainbow tubes for Iridessa. Tinkerbell was amazed as Iridessa created a rainbow and then rolled it up inside a tube. I'm taking the rainbow to the mainland to change the seasons, the light fairy told Tink. Tink really wanted to be a nature fairy, so she could go to the mainland too. She asked Silver Mist to teach her how to be a water fairy, but Tink broke every dewdrop she touched. Iridessa tried to show Tink how to give light to fireflies, but instead of making the fireflies light up, Tink started to glow instead. The animal fairy gave Tink a lesson in teaching baby birds to fly, but Tink couldn't even convince her bird to come out of its egg. Tinkerbell was upset. At this rate, I should get to the mainland right about, never, she complained as she walked along the beach. Then Tink noticed a porcelain box filled with gears and springs. When Tink's friends found her, she was busy putting all the pieces together. They watched quietly as Tink attached a ballerina to the lid of the box. Suddenly, the ballerina turned and the box played music. Tink was the best Tinker Fairy they had ever seen, but Tink still wanted to be a nature fairy. Vidya, a mean, fast-flying fairy, told Tink to gather the sprinting thistles. That would prove to everyone that she could be a garden fairy. So Tink built a corral and locked some of the giant weeds inside it. But Vidya blew the corral gate open and the thistles ran away. They stampeded through town, destroying everything in their path. Queen Clarion rushed over to see what had happened. The springtime supplies were ruined. There was no way they could bring spring to the mainland on time. I'm sorry, Tinkerbell whispered sadly before flying away. Tinkerbell thought about leaving Pixie Hollow forever, but then she remembered putting the music box back together with all those found objects. Maybe she could make some machines that could get the springtime supplies ready super fast. Tink got right to work. The next morning, there were springtime supplies everywhere. Tink had done it. Spring would arrive. Then Clank and Bobble showed up with the music box. I ran across this myself many seasons ago, Fairy Mary said. I didn't have a clue how to fix it, but you did, Tinkerbell. Fairy Mary and Queen Clarion agreed that Tink should go to the mainland to return the music box to its owner. When Tink and the other fairies arrived in London, everything looked dull and gray. But as the nature fairies did their jobs, ice melted, flowers bloomed, birds chirped, and marvelous colors appeared. It was even more beautiful than Tink had imagined. As Tink flew past a row of houses, the music box started to glow outside a bedroom window. Tink set the box on the windowsill, tapped on the glass, and hid. Soon a girl appeared, thrilled to find her long-lost music box. Tink's work was done. She loved being a Tinker Fairy.